Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. I just want to start off here by giving a very big and healthy thank you to one Rachel Riley because I'll be honest here, a few hours ago I was sitting back and being like, man, we're not going to have that fun of an update today. Like, we can talk about some punishments and maybe
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of game. And then Rachel decided to shoot herself out of a cannon today thanks to Morgan and her nonsense.
Fight, fight, fight,
Fight,
fight,
fight,
fight,
fight,
fight.
fight. Who does not love a fight? Especially, we've talked about this in videos before that typically in past seasons, the Rachel Riley reputation was she was actually really bad at fighting. Like, she would start a confrontation, then she would yell, and then the other person would clap back and end her, and then she would just leave and be
Yep.
upset. Rachel ended Morgan today in a way that this is like Harlem Globetrotters, Washington Generals level of ending where Morgan just tried to backtrack and just quieted down and nothing was working. All she could really do is eventually just leave and go and complain to Mickey.
One of the biggest problems that Morgan and everybody, but Morgan especially, has been having this season is talking about jury and how being at jury is like this great thing. It's so amazing. And I have not understood it this season. It's not this great, amazing thing. It means you haven't won. And if you have a family, it means you are stuck away from them and not winning. You are stuck in some house somewhere. You can't go home and be with your kids, be with your loved ones, nothing. You're just stuck. There's nothing great about being in jury. And I'm not really sure why Morgan, especially, is like, been using this and talking about this like it's like this great thing. Oh, don't worry, you'll at least make jury. How does that make anybody feel better? Nobody wants to be sitting around jury. They want to win, or at least that's what you should want. And Rachel wants to win.
I wish I could think of a proper old timey reference that's just a word for people who are annoying me greatly because nincompoops is not the right word here. But I'm just so glad that Rachel, whatever the word here, has found a way to express how I've been feeling for years about all these people who just want to play until jury, where it's just like,
Hucklearrow.
thank you. There are too many Hucklearrows on Big Brother these past few seasons that have always been about like, oh, I want jury because I think they're like, okay, you get the jury stipend or maybe you get to be relevant on the show longer. It's just like, I want to watch people who want to win.
But just the same, I'm more understanding of the people who like, I want to be in jury. I want to sit around and do nothing and get the jury stipend. I want that for me. This season has been really weird about it, where it's like, oh, we want this for Rachel. We want this for you, somebody else. And it's not for themselves, that they're like, oh, don't worry, I got you. You'll make it to jury and we'll put you in jury. It's just like, this isn't something this is not a reward. This is not great. Nobody
No,
wants that. Nobody wants to hear that. You're basically just being like, I'm putting you out of the game.
yeah, you're not going to the sanctuary where good things happen. The jury house is where bad things happen. You're just alone and you're left to not have a chance of winning. But
Right.
this whole jury house nonsense is the primary impetus for this fight. And beyond all of that, this fight, in theory, could have some really big repercussions to what's going to happen with the veto. We're going to
Yep.
talk about the state of things there, what Katherine wants to do, what could unfold as a result of all this, because things are still pretty chaotic in the house at the time of this recording.
Yep.
All right, before we get any more into it, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are here, as you guys may know, every single day during Big Brother
Yep.
27 with live feed updates, reactions. We have a really good time talking about this stuff and talking with all of you over these past couple weeks. And we just want to keep the fun going.
Absolutely. And just a big thank you to everyone who helped us reach 75,000
Yeah.
subscribers here at the channel. It was a humongous milestone for us. I mean, we really appreciate your support in doing that. And if you do want to talk to us further about Big Brother, you can head over to our Patreon. That is another place that we are having Big Brother discussions. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for your support here. But okay, before we get directly into the fight. We have to do a little bit of table setting and make sure the story of today is told properly and
Mm-hmm.
with context. So
Mm-hmm.
let's go back in time here a little bit to this
Oh,
morning.
all right. Beep, bop, 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 boop. All right. We are in the past.
As of this morning, Catherine was pretty set on not using the power of veto. Like, if you guys watched the feeds last night, then it was probably already clear to you that that was going to be the case then.
Mhm.
But her primary argument as of this morning was just like, okay, the only people it really benefits to use the veto are the people who are actually on the block. It's like, how do I benefit from this? How does Riley benefit from
Right.
this? Because, in theory, Riley could be a replacement nominee. That's not going to happen, but,
No,
it's always
you
a
never know.
yeah, it's always something that's out there. I mean, she's also argued at this point. It's like, okay, if I wanted the veto to be used, I could have thrown it to Ava or Vince, who were apparently there at the end of this veto competition.
Hmm.
It's like she had a chance to sort of shake up the game. She decided not to. I think she and herself thinks that winning the veto is a move on her resume, and not making a move sometimes is as important as making a move, as like silly as that might sound.
Yeah, I mean, if it actually really benefits you. And I think the thing with Catherine in this veto right now is that she's not in danger right now. Riley's not in danger right now. If she doesn't use it, it'll be fine. If she uses it, it'll be fine.
And it's this other sort of interesting situation, and this is a developing story that could be worth following, because I have a little bit of a tinfoil hat here.
Hmm.
That I think Catherine is probably more inclined to have Keanu there long term than Riley necessarily is over some other people. Like, Catherine's already suggested to Mickey that Keanu might stay no matter what. Vince is obviously a big threat. Like, these are things that were being talked about before this fight ever really happened. And I
Hmm.
think what this fight is going to end up doing, in between setting up everyone's blood pressure, is just like having more active discussions about all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so now let's get into the messiness of it all. So I think this all started by this idea that Morgan had it in her mind, for reasons that are still unclear over the past 24 hours, that she needs to be an advocate for both Vince and Zach, who are on the
Yeah.
block. She wants to save both her friends. Like, the craziness about all of this. Everyone knows that Morgan is close with Vince and Zach. So it's
Yes.
like, whatever Morgan is going to say to people, what's the incentive for them to then believe her?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, she's really throwing everything at the wall and hoping something sticks, including the jury comments that we're going to get into. But everybody knows that she is close with them. Of course, she wants to be able to save them. And yeah, go out there and try to advocate for it if you can. But you have to have like really well thought out reasons that benefit the people that you're going to, and not just be talking about jury, which has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, like, okay, the first argument Morgan makes here, and this is a terrible argument, is just saying, Rachel, I've talked to Zach and Vince, and they've agreed that, if they stay, they're not going to touch you. You're going to be fine. Yeah, it's
Sure.
just like, Rachel's not a dum-dum. Rachel has been in
No.
reality TV for like a decade and a half. Like,
Yeah.
there's no universe where Rachel is ever going to believe that this is true.
No, and she didn't believe it, and she shouldn't believe it. It's just a really trash argument.
Yeah, and then Morgan, if she hasn't dug her grave enough here with Rachel, she decides to just shovel her way even deeper into the ground. And this is where she says, and I think she just meant this sort of passively because this is the way Morgan talks, is she was just like, Rachel, just know, I want to keep you in this game. I want you to be around. I want you in jury. And at that point, the wire snaps on Rachel, and Rachel goes completely haywire.
Yeah, and this is not the first time that Rachel has heard her name and put her in jury. This has been going on as a theme all season long from
Yeah.
multiple different people.
Yeah, and all of this, like, it's been comments that are out there for a while that Zach and Vince have supposedly been talking about, that Rachel has then heard secondhand. Morgan's name has been thrown in there in the past, and this is all accented further by comments made very recently by Vince to Rachel. I think Vince is a great player, but I think this was a pretty serious misstep on his part to tell Rachel that it's like, I want you to be in jury because I think you're somebody who's very smart. You'll be kind of a nice mediator for people. You'll have them thinking of the game sensibly. And he compares her to Dr. Will, because Dr. Will does all these like jury roundtables, or has in the past, where he like does serve in this sort of role. This comment has been eating away at Rachel ever since.
Yeah, Dr. Will won. Not jury that season. You know
No.
what I mean? Like, yeah, he's coming back and doing some roundtables and stuff, but he's
Yeah.
not playing the game.
No.
It's such a weird. It is so weird. It is bothering me in ways that
Yeah.
I can't even like just flames on the side of my face. I do not understand why everyone is, especially to Rachel, talking to her about how great it would be if she's in jury. It is such an insult.
Yeah, so even before this conversation with Morgan happens, Rachel's already very upset. Like, she had already vented to Will about some of Vince's comments and how annoyed. And so Morgan, unbeknownst to her, just really fired up the dragon in this instance. And Rachel starts raising her voice, indicating she's tired of all the disrespect, wants people to put a crown on her, crown her name, recognize her as the great Big Brother player that she is, that she has a husband and kids at home. And she said some of this to Will as well, where it's just like, I'm not going to be in jury. And, you know, maybe some of you will take that as like, oh, she's going to leave if she's evicted in the jury phase. Like
No.
that. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's it. Like, she's just saying, I'm not going to be somebody who's in jury. So don't talk to me about jury. And this whole time, Morgan looks like she just is terrified, that she wants to run out of the room. She's trying to backtrack. She's trying to just like, well, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like rambling, and Rachel is just steamrolling her.
And Morgan, just go and tell everybody, stop talking about jury. Stop talking about Rachel going to jury. Maybe this is just what she needed to have happen at this point, to have that slap on the hand, to be like, stop. Just you stop. Tell your friends, don't talk to me about jury. I'm here to win the money. I'm not here to go to jury. And I'm really glad that Rachel finally laid it out.
Yeah.
Because this conversation about Rachel going to jury has been happening since like week 2 or something like that.
It has, and I'm sure there are people out there that might be like, okay, it's a bad move for Rachel to be this confrontational, and in a different world, maybe I would agree, in a different Big Brother timeline, but I kind of feel like Rachel's whole game this season is that everyone is terrified of her, and I think it's everybody's terrified to put her on the block.
Yeah,
because,
and that works.
Yeah, because she might blow them up. She might blow up their game, just like she blew up Morgan face to face here. Like, Rachel's whole biggest argument back to Morgan amidst all of this, and she was just like, I don't want to go to jury. You know, it's nonsense you guys are talking about it. Morgan backtracked and tried to be like, you know, I'm not saying I want you to be a member of jury, Rachel. I'm just looking at it as a checkpoint. It's like just one step to being at the end of the game. And Rachel was just like, there is no checkpoint. This is Big Brother. There are no checkpoints in Big Brother.
No, you win or you lose. It's not, oh, well, we've gotten to jury, so that means something. All it means is that you are going to be getting some sort of stipend for being in jury, and you can't go home.
Yeah.
And you can't win. Like, it's not anything.
No, it's just good for people like Morgan and Vince to get a little bit of self-awareness here, just in the idea that for people like Will, like Rachel, who are leaving a lot behind to play this game, it's like they have a different perspective on playing it at this point. So it's just that this whole argument by Morgan, she loses at the moment she brings up jury. Rachel does not believe anything that she says from there on out. Morgan even tried to bring up at one point that according to Ashley saying that Jimmy was coming for her Morgan, which is just like total nonsense. Rachel also does not believe that at all. And it just, none of this goes very well. And of course, Morgan just retreats, runs and goes to Mickey immediately.
As she should.
Yeah, it's just going to try to find somebody to vent to about all of this. I mean, maybe she thinks that, I don't know how Morgan in a million years ever thinks that she wins this argument at all.
No, she did not win this at all. It's not even a back and forth. It was just a complete scorched earth.
It really, really was. And Rachel, this is the other thing that I think is so genius about Rachel at this point in her life, where I think Rachel in Big Brother 12, she has the confrontation, she just stews on it, she doesn't really do anything after the fact, but Rachel
just
now
cries in a bush.
Yeah, she cries in a bush. Rachel's more grown up now. I think Rachel has a much better social game, and so Rachel's now kind of, her wheels are turning, because one other thing that happens in the midst of all of this with Morgan, even before things got really heated, Morgan just sort of makes this passing comment that oh, people are saying they may want to break up the showmance. It's like she's not saying, oh, it's something that has to happen right now, but she's just sort of inferring maybe this is something we think about. Well, Rachel immediately makes a beeline to Catherine after this and just tells Morgan, I mean, it just tells Catherine, do you know Morgan? She's saying that everyone wants to break up the showmances.
Absolutely, which is the right thing to do for multiple reasons. Obviously, you want to like ride out Morgan as fast as you can to other people and make sure that you can kind of try to pull other people to your side. I mean, Catherine and Riley, they seem like they're kind of in the middle. They're not really, but they seem like they could be
Yeah,
swayed one way or another, even though, yeah, Catherine and Lauren are close and stuff like
yeah,
that. But also going to her, she's the person who has the veto, right? So if Rachel really wants to get Morgan on the block, and there are a few people that are ready for Morgan to go home,
yes.
including Catherine. Catherine is like listening to her. She's not going to end up really using this veto, I don't think, but she is listening to her like, oh, okay, that is interesting that she would say that we got to get broken up. Obviously, that can't happen right now because we're not on the block. But at the same time, if she's kind of like starting to spread that out, then it's like, okay, would Catherine then want to use the veto to get Morgan up there? Or is she going to be nervous to use the veto? Because if it's true that people want to break them up and she uses the veto, does Riley go up?
Yeah, I understand where Catherine's train of thought here on all of this is. Like we'll see if her mind changes over the next 24 hours, because I think here's the thing. Rachel is going to try. I don't think she's going to try too hard with the people that she's more directly working with, because
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't want to burn any bridges, make them feel pressured. I think Rachel, she is much more blunt than anyone else in the house. I'm hoping, she's been there long enough to know I can't be as blunt as maybe I was in past seasons. So we have more sensitive players this modern day and age.
Mm-hmm.
But she did go and have this long conversation with Ava. And I think we should all say here, first and foremost, Rachel's end goal here, obviously, is for Morgan to go up on the block here. But also, Rachel, she's kind of like us in this instance, where she believes, okay, maybe she doesn't believe in the cracked alliance of her and Keanu, but it's just like she also wants Keanu off that block, just like we do,
Mm-hmm.
because it's, if Keanu's up there is a good chance Keanu ends up going. Like
Yeah.
some votes may flip or flop depending on who's there with him after the
Yeah.
blockbuster. But we talked about this days ago, and I stand by it. Ava should never have nominated him in the first place. It's a
No.
total Mike Ehrmantraut half measure, where she thinks that it's like, okay, this is a move that will sort of not show all of my cards to the house. That of course I would put up Keanu because of the veto ceremony confrontation, where it's just like, you already put Zach and Vince up there. Like that side of the house already knows where you stand.
Yeah, you've already shown all your cards. You might as well, if you really want Vince out, then you need to put up somebody who's just not going to go home. And Keanu is not that person.
Yeah, and even when Rachel started this conversation with Ava, which was riveting live feeds, I mean, the entire past hour of live feeds has been pretty lit.
Yeah.
But Ava at first was like, oh, okay, maybe after this whole thing with Morgan, maybe I'll just take down Zach, and maybe that'll be the move that I do. And Rachel's just like, well, if Keanu is still on the block, he might be going. And Ava
Yeah.
just tried to come back and was like, okay, maybe I can make a spectacle at the veto ceremony. Maybe I can make it very, very clear if I take Zach off and Morgan goes up that I want Morgan to be the one who goes. And Rachel's just like, well, that may still not work. It's also putting a bigger target on your back. I mean, nobody really, after the veto ceremony, HOH doesn't have any power really anymore.
Yeah, the HO, unless you've got like the votes with you and you have a big enough group to be like, okay, this is my target, get them out. Okay, no problem. Ava's not in that position. She's the HOH. So her position is to be able to put people up. She doesn't get a vote.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have any more power after this. She can want whoever she wants to go home, and it just doesn't matter.
It's a really delicate position where Rachel has to try to be influential without being too influential. Ava's going to be cautious because Ava doesn't want to show her cards. I
Mhm.
think she's still very worried about Keanu. Like the funniest thing in all of this to me is just that in Ava talking about, oh, maybe I'll take down Zach, lo and behold, she doesn't know about Zach's power. Like,
Right.
we still don't know for sure if Zach's gonna use it. Like, I'm sitting here assuming that if Zach's not saved with the veto, he's gonna use it. But it's just like, Ava, if you save Zach with the well, Katherine plays it and you save Zach, you're gonna lose $10,000 for no reason.
I know, but she doesn't know
I
that. I
know.
mean, and would Catherine end up using it? I don't know. I mean, she did go back and talk to Riley, sort of, bringing the information that Morgan's like, oh, yeah, the showmance needs to get out. And Riley's really pissed about it. But
Yeah,
at the same time, he's kind of like, we can, if we just don't do anything this week, let it play out the way it's going to play out. You or I can win the HOH next week and we can just get her out on ours. Like, you don't have to make that move and put a target on your back for any reason.
yeah. I think Catherine and Riley, for now, they're just in a position where they know the people who are on the block. They may think at this point that it's better to just be safe. I think there is this undercurrent in the house that, okay, maybe Keanu's just going to win the blockbuster anyway, and it won't really matter, but it's still something I'm just sitting here and being like, okay, it's really, really tricky because we do have people like Catherine and Riley who are in the middle, in the midst of all of this. You don't know what they're going to do. Kelly is such a wild card. And it's like Ava, if she's in a position where she has to break a tie for whatever reason, like what is she going to do there? Because if Keanu is still there,
Mm-hmm.
is she going to feel like I have to get rid of Keanu because of optics, because of how it's going to look if I'm the person who really dismantles the Vince side of the house? And
Right.
it's just like, I don't understand the idea of keeping Keanu up there, but I do understand. Let me put it this way, actually. Like, I don't understand it for Ava. I kind of understand it for Catherine, but the big
Yes.
conversation we need to have, and it hasn't happened yet, is Ava and Catherine actually sitting down and talking about this between themselves.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that conversation goes if that conversation comes up.
Yeah, because it might not. I mean, the last thing that Rachel did sort of indicate to Ava, though, was just like, you know what Morgan's probably doing right now? She's probably going and talking to Mickey immediately about all of this, because I think
Yeah.
Rachel is just trying to reinforce further with Ava that, you know what, Ava, Morgan's always going to put other people ahead of you. Morgan's not somebody you really need to be thinking about long term. I
Yeah.
mean, Rachel's going to have some important conversations with Catherine as well, but they
Yes.
they hold all the power right now in the week, and it's a pretty interesting scenario because Keanu, unfortunately, I have zero confidence in Keanu's ability to help himself at this position in the game.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's going to continue to do what he's doing where he, as you said, has like, an hour of good gameplay and then everything else is just the clown car.
And now we have to get into the clown car because we are driving Keanu around, unfortunately.
Oh no. All right,
Yeah.
let's pie ourselves in the face and honk our nose. Let's go.
Okay, we almost need like 5 individual pies for each one of these things that I'm going to list off that Keanu has said or done in the past 24 hours. And mind you, some of these he did while being dressed as a butler who has like an extended butt that he has a tray on that he's having to serve people with, which it's just like a part of his punishment.
It's so awkward.
It's so awkward. Also, what's awkward? BB Twitter. I saw y'all's post thirsting after Keanu in that butler outfit. Have some decorum. That's all I'm gonna say. He's got a weird butt attachment, guys.
I
Take a
know.
seat. Okay. Problem number one, Keanu. He's trying to manifest that Zach is gonna go home this week. Keanu, that's not gonna happen. Number two, he's told Morgan that she's probably fine. Also not gonna happen. Keanu, he's also said that other than Catherine, Riley, he's Riley's number one in the game. Number four, he believes that Rachel is telling him everything. And finally, number five, and this is the big one, he's contemplated throwing the blockbuster to Vince if that opportunity arrives.
Keanu, what are you doing? I know he already was like, I'll just throw the veto, whatever, but now he's going to throw this to Vince as well. I mean, he's at the delusional ice cream parlor thinking he's fine. And it might be part of it. It's just, he's been up so many times and he's still here that he's just like, they're never really sending me home.
Okay, I want to draw a comparison here between the bad gameplay of Keanu and the bad gameplay of Morgan, because here's how I would best describe it. Watching Keanu play Big Brother is like going to a drive-in and watching one of those like giant snake destroys the world B movies from the
Love.
50s. Yes, where it's like you know this movie is bad, but you're really, really enjoying it, and you know what you're there for.
Mars needs more women. Those
Yes,
types of movies. So
exactly.
good.
That is
So bad.
that is Keanu. Morgan, however, is, and this may anger some people, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's like the time I went to the movies to see The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, where I was thinking, okay, great cast, great director, this is going to be
Such a
great.
bad movie.
And it sucked. And I was just sitting there being like, why did I spend my money on this? Where it's like, this is supposed to be good and it's bad. Morgan, you know this show. You know this game. You're supposed to be good. And instead, beyond the fight with Rachel, which was obviously really, really bad. Like, the only good thing that she has really done this week is know that she is a target, because she had this ridiculous conversation with Keanu over the past 24 hours where she was like, you know, Keanu, if Zach has to choose between me or Lauren, which way do you think Zach is going to go? Keanu tells her to her face, I don't really think that's a hard question. And then Morgan just gets up and leaves. And it's like, okay, Keanu's lack of self-awareness, once again, it's taking me out, but it's just also, Morgan, your self-awareness for even asking this question. She has just like gotten too transfixed on showmances,
Yep.
her alliance with
Yep.
Vince and Zach, being public about it. She's also just like strutted around the house talking all about, you know, if there's a wall comp, I've got this. I'm going to win this. It's like, we all know there's probably going to be a wall comp, but it's like, don't brag about your abilities in a wall comp if not everybody wants you in the game.
Yeah, this whole I said this in the last video. This whole season like is filled with so many bad players, and
Yes.
we've seen this in the past where there's of course some bad players, but like this is really bad gameplay, Morgan.
The thing that makes it extra hilarious is that Morgan is doing everything that she can to save Vince. Like, she's throwing
Yes.
Keanu under the bus to a lot of people. You know, she's actively playing a million times harder than she should be. Meanwhile, Vince is basically saying, you know, he's fine if Morgan ends up being a renom. I mean, obviously, he doesn't know anything that's going to happen now because Catherine's probably not using it, but it's just like, he's fine if Morgan goes up there because Vince has got like a million other allies.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm still feeling pretty good that if he is on the block, he's not actually going anywhere. He's made a lot of really close relationships.
He has, and it's just like looking at all these other numbers. Zach's going to be off the block after the veto ceremony. We know how close he is with Lauren. You know, Riley and Catherine are probably going to have some discussions about this. Kelly's going to have some discussions about, like, there's a lot of people that are going to have Vince's back no matter what. And I think that Ava isn't always seeing the forest through the trees on this, even if they know that Vince is a big threat. What's extra funny about Vince now is that he is currently in this big egg costume that is just Detective Egg. He can barely move around in it. It's really, really funny.
It's so funny. I mean, well done on the costumes with this. I mean, it's such a fun theme this season anyways, the murder mystery stuff. But this egg costume, I mean, yeah, it's awkward and nonsense or whatever, but it's so funny.
There are times every season where I'm just like, why are we devoting, I don't know, hours and hours of our lives every day to something so stupid? We're watching Keanu with a butt transplant. We're watching Vince as a giant egg.
One of the best ones. I'm not a Christmas fan, but watching her go around with all those star babies and be like, look how cute my babies are, was one of the funniest things I've ever seen this show do.
This show is so stupid, and yet we're all here,
so good.
and we all love it so much. Vince is like, he's a little bit quieter right now, and I think a lot of it is it's hard for him to be like as snaky and as discreet when he's a giant egg moving around, but he seems to be, and we talked about full Eeyore Vince yesterday, he's now pivoted into the, I don't want to be defined by being in this costume. And now he's just like, everybody feels sorry for me because I'm in this outfit.
Listen, this works. We've seen stuff like this work. You're on the block. You got to find a way. Either you're going to talk some sort of strategy to give people what they want and what they want to hear, or you're going to try something like this where it's like, oh my goodness, poor me. I'm this giant egg with this hat. You can't let me go out like this. Feel sorry for me. And because he has built such good relationships with other people, it's going to work.
Here's the part of this when it comes to a possible Keanu versus Vince vote that would be really interesting. Kelly has said to Keanu, and obviously this is Kelly, take it with an enormous grain of salt.
She lies a lot.
That she would be very inclined to keep Keanu just because, you know, Vince has done these things to her. And
Sure.
I mean, we can go back and be like how Vince didn't clue her in entirely on everything, happened with the vote in the past and all this. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
but they worked past it. He's apologized to her. She said it was fine, and I believe that it's fine. I think she's just lying to Keanu.
yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance of that. And that's why Keanu is still going to be in a certain amount of danger. But, it's just something we have to kind of consider. But finally, though, before we say goodbye in this video, we need to have a talk with production because once again, production is annoying us. At the end of the Power of the Veto competition, we learned that Zach had to do this extended punishment. And
Mhm.
apparently, Rachel had volunteered for it
Yep.
because she was just like, you know what? I want to try to build something more with Zach, which, once again,
Yep.
smart move. If you're
Yes.
playing Big Brother, just take all the punishments you can. Yeah,
Yep.
you don't get a trip somewhere, you don't get a cop, but it's just like, it builds character. It's kind of
Mhm.
like what Calvin's dad used to say in Calvin and Hobbes all the time when he was telling Calvin to go shovel the snow. It's just like doing punishments. They build character, they build relationships,
Yes.
and then they would not let us see the punishment
I
on the live feed. It's like,
know.
what is wrong with you guys? I just remember like Brittany kicking all the soccer balls or the pig costumes with Izzy, and it's just like, this is the stuff we live for, and I don't understand why we don't get to see this.
Because they want us to watch the show, and some of us live feeders like me who don't watch the episodes except for the eviction stuff.
Yeah.
I like to just watch live feeds because that's the real show to me, where you get to actually see everything. But now I don't get to see this, so I guess I'm gonna have to see it on the show.
That's what we think about that. But
What
okay.
part?
All right. Well, that is where we are in this edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. Rest assured, we are going to be glued to these feeds from now until the veto ceremony
Yeah.
because we want to see, could Katherine have a change of heart on all of this? Is Rachel going to work a little bit of her magic? I mean, we all know Morgan's probably hitting the block anyway because of Zach's power, but it's just like, is there another way this happens? And then does it end up that veto is played? Zach's power is also used. And then we somehow end up in this weird situation where Vince is still up there. Keanu is saved. And then we have Morgan and Lauren. Like, is that possible?
Anything's possible. I mean, there's still time.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys want to see happen from here. But then also hit that subscribe button for more Big Brother updates and support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description. Thank you so much to our patrons. Like, that really does mean the world to us. And we will see you here next time.